Have you ever asked, why is Takashi 6ix9ine famous? What do 20.8 million people find intriguing about him? I mean, that's to assume a good number of those followers aren't bought. Bad Baby? How does she have the following, the income, and the access that she does? How did PewDiePie come back from Nazi accusations and the Christchurch, New Zealand mosque shootings to land a highly lucrative exclusive live streaming deal with YouTube? Do we know how profitable Outrage has become and who truly benefits from it? Hey guys, I'm Julesy, and you can find me everywhere on the internet at Julesy. Welcome to this discussion. I just got my braces tightened, so excuse the lisp, just bear with me here. Outrage has become a social currency. First, strategically enacted by one Kris Jenner in the handling of Kim Kardashian's sex tape. Now, to employ the Jenner method, let the outrage happen. Just look not simply damn good, but desirable while all the eyes are on you. Folks will be hot while they're typing away essays, but all you need is a handful of folks to go, ooh, but I like her shoes. And outrage becomes profitable. Can I snap? Okay. Now, what's made Outrage a truly profitable social currency is the algorithms behind every social media platform that are built to suck you into a digital rabbit hole. Your timelines on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok are fueled by an algorithm coded to show you what is most likely to engage you. And engagement is not only what you click and comment on, but what you do, what you pause on, take a beat and read. The algorithm reads what you are ingesting overall. Now, engagement is a currency of the attention economy and what has proven to be most sticky in grabbing one's attention and therefore engagement? Question mark? The answer is outrage. Outrage is what you consider effective engagement, where there's a flash of emotional reaction to content, whether positive or negative. And outrage is easy to manufacture. We are most likely to comment and share content when it evokes strong emotional reactions. And outrage is easier for the most part to manufacture. So because we are filtering so much of our information through social media, timelines with character limits and then captions or tweets that need to be read with the quickness of a swipe, a lot of us, many of us, are getting our news through what essentially is headlines. Seriously, how many of us have actually ventured over to the Shade Room's blog to get what the whole story on an Instagram post is about? I'll wait. These headlines and captions are now packaged to grab our attention, our clicks, and our shares. Headline packaging is an actual term, and the top pull quote from an article on headline packaging by Felix Salmon for Neiman's Lab, a series of essays with regards to journalism. So in this particular article, Felix Salmon makes the point that even with the best crafted headline in the world, for every person who clicks on it, there are hundreds, if not thousands, who see it, digest it, and simply move on. People get their news from headlines now in a way they never did in the past. What does any of this have to do with Takashi 6ix9ine, Bad Baby, or PewDiePie? Well, the first two have capitulated to some semblance of a career via outrage. The latter used outrage to sustain and further his career. And PewDiePie is a good example of who gets to benefit from the outrage versus who incurs the most harm from said outrage. Now, Takashi 6ix9ine is a good example of the trolling that has flipped the outrage for profit on its head. His ascension essentially came via DJ Academics, a herb-ass troll himself. The man Erykah Badu said looked like Jerry from Tom and Jerry, because yeah, he does. And he's been a mainstay in the hip-hop blogging scene for far too long. 6ix9ine used Academics as his original promotional vehicle. It was a barrage of just outlandish news stories originally posted on Academics Instagram. Then they would be reposted and made their way over to the Shade Room. Academics and the Shade Room, well, the Shade Room for sure, at the very least, are on some sort of payroll to constantly post 6ix9ine, constantly have him in your timeline, eliciting an emotional reaction that captures your attention, even if it is a disdain or a what is this? It becomes currency. And then when the federal case against 6ix9ine for his involvement with the 9 Trey gangsta Bloods? Girl, that federal case against that gang was the icing on the cake for someone who trolled their way into the limelight. Because with that, 6ix9ine became mainstream headline news. His court appearance as he turned snitch on every and anyone who previously crossed paths with him became timeline fodder that was rapidly shared on social media. His social currency is valuable because of the outrage he continually fuels. He was given an early release from federal prison because of COVID-19 and went right back to having the Shade Room as his personal billboard, where he's incessantly inciting outrage amongst hip-hop celebrities. His first post-prison Instagram Live garnered 2 million active viewers, with praises from Instagram execs. You know, never mind the, child abuse, child rape charges, child pornography, the sexual abuse charges he has levied against him. Wow, it's a whole mess. And the outrage that leads to the attention makes this man unnecessarily profitable. Then there's Bad Baby, the young white girl with a slick mouth who became famous for her Dr. Phil clip where at 13 years old, she's yelling, "Catch me outside, how about it?" Did I say that right? Do I care if I said it right? I don't know. Within 7 months of appearing on the Dr. Phil show, Bad Baby, real name Danielle, had a manager who sought her out after hearing the Catch Me Outside remix. Cause you know, now every viral moment becomes like a ringtone song. Sure. She went on to get into several more public altercations that went viral, and if we have to shout out one white girl who's trolling, we might as well shout out the other one, Whoa Vicky, another one who has capitalized on the outrage surrounding her. And Danielle was doing all of this while boosting her follower count, which allowed her to sign a record deal with Atlantic Records. And in 2018, there was a New York Times feature article on her entitled "The Big Business of Becoming Bad Baby," which details how Danielle's manager basically threw some darts at the wall to figure out what was the best talent she could exploit for revenue, and the dart landed on rapper. Problem solved. Hire a few writers, and Danielle pulls features from YG, Lil Yachty, and Meg Thee Stallion on her first album. She is wildly obnoxious, but click on any of her profiles long enough to get a whiff of Go Bestie, and suddenly there's the, okay, but this song is low-key a bop, as if there aren't any qualified rappers or at least black girls who can sonically offer the same musical selection. I mean, well, Danielle, Bad Baby, she's the one that has your attention. This is why I try to consciously stay away from the outrage machine. Danielle is very obviously blackfishing. Yes, Jules laid the groundwork and Bad Baby followed, and since she's getting cosigns from other players and influencers in the industry, the most folks commenting on her Instagram is going to do is spark more outrage, more attention, and more potential social currency. For all intents and purposes, I'm not mad at the other content creators who will do content speaking on this and, you know, use the same outrage to get their own engagement. Hey, everyone dip their hands on the pot. But all this attention based around the outrage that Danielle fuels really just benefits Danielle in the end. Because as Danielle so eloquently puts it,
same people always talk about, oh, who made this famous? You did! Continuously fucking talking about me, damn! You don't like the but you steady talking about her! How the that work?
Yeah, girl, how does that work? I could, from here, totally pivot to the one Jeffree Star, but there's someone who has mastered the art of outrage for profit even better than the racist antics of Jeffree. PewDiePie. So much so that there is an entire podcast episode on him from the New York Times podcast Rabbit Hole, episode 5, entitled The Accidental Emperor, detailing how PewDiePie became the most subscribed to YouTube channel by 2013, then made a series of anti-Semitic, supposedly satire references from using Hitler's image and speeches in a video, and then somehow finding the humor in paying folks in another country on Fiverr to hold up a sign that said "Death to all Jews," which, because of, did briefly cause him to lose a bevy of his brand deals. Now, PewDiePie's response to the barrage of news articles about his anti-Semitic jokes was to say there's two different generations, and for his generation, anti-Semitism via Nazi Hitler memes aren't all that shocking, which the podcast claims isn't all that wrong. No. But this bad apology garners even more press, and PewDiePie upticks the outrage by antagonizing the press in return, with his fans, and then Joe Rogan, Alex Jones, that side of the internet, that side, responded in support of him, which elevates him to an even higher level of influence. I still have subscribed to PewDiePie, and really just PewDiePie's name in general, as black words on my YouTube channel. His influence is insane, and unfortunately for folks like myself who exist on the other side of the internet, the outrage that PewDiePie victoriously used in his favor had horrible effects for the content creators like myself, who saw their AdSense revenue slash 50 to 75% as YouTube rolled out new monetization rules to counter advertisers abandoning the platform, as they didn't want to run ads on videos with anti-Semitism in them or Hitler and Nazi jokes, however you would like to describe it. And that somehow translated for YouTube that basically anyone who discussed anything socio-political had to have their ad revenue censored, curbed, disseminated. Girl, that shit hurt. Hurt. Now, I don't know how this defeats the actions of PewDiePie overall, but hey, man's just got the exclusive streaming deal with YouTube, all that outrage, all that attention. What a wonderful way to grab the bag. Okay, now, slow your roll, don't get up too quickly and go try this for yourself, because you know who the outrage doesn't work for? Black girls. Azalea Banks could never. Well, unless you want to go the Candace Owens route and pimp yourself up for the MAGA crowd. Maybe. Overall, I would encourage us all to engage in a little less of the outrage machine. And I'm not saying to never, ever have a negative opinion on something, to never call out something, to never simply be outraged at something. But think of the value of your outrage and where do you want to place it and who's really benefiting from you sharing this narrative and participating in this narrative. And one way we can engage in it a little less is by putting our phones down. I've been listening to How to Break Up with Your Phone. Yes, I streamed my Audible account to my Google Home and put my phone down. I very seriously have. And you've heard me shout out this book before. So you can do the same. Just use my URL, audible.com/Julesy, or text Julesy to 500-500 if you're just signing up to get your first month free on Audible. There's a whole chapter in the book that explains how social media algorithms are built to take us down a digital rabbit hole, to grab our attention, to spark that emotional reaction, and keep us engaged in an addictive manner. That really got me thinking, and it's at the very beginning of the book because she basically breaks down the addictiveness that's built into our phone screens and to the apps that we use. And that really got me thinking about this whole outrage machine and how it works and how easy outrage gets shares and how much more likely, like if I post something upset at the Kardashians for whatever misstep they are consciously constantly making, I can get a ton more comments and engagement or shares than usual. And people are more inclined to pop off and share on their timeline with their own heated diatribe into the endless echo chamber of their social media timeline. It's a little incessant, but this book is an unlikely suspect in breaking that all down for you. For the culture wars that buoyed like a PewDiePie into infinite stardom, you can also check Killing All the Normies on Audible. Again, if this is your first time using Audible, definitely use my link so you can get a free month. It's audible.com/Julesy, or you can text Julesy to 500-500. I would like to thank you, Audible, for making this video possible, and be sure to grab How to Break Up with Your Phone, because I know we all in quarantine staring at our phones. I'm just trying to help us all not pick up horrible bad habits while we're stuck in that house. Or, you know, I did call out Killing All the Normies. And as always, you can grab my current book club read, Hood Feminism, which is what I am currently listening to on Audible. It is great. Oh man, I love the book so much, and I'm super excited because we have Mickey Kendall coming to the book club to interview. So all narration ain't equal, and Mickey Kendall does such a good job narrating her book. It really just packs a punch. So you can pick that up and join my SBG book club. It's lit. All right, thank y'all for watching. I hope y'all enjoyed this. I'm looking forward to the engagement in the comments down below. Deuces.